The Waggoner, Canto 2 by William Wordsworth. If Wytheburn's modest house of prayer, as lowly as the lowliest dwelling, had, with its belfry's humble stock, a little pair that hang in air, been mistress also of a clock, and one, too, not in crazy plight, 12 strokes that clock would have been telling under the brow of old Helvellyn its bead-roll of midnight, then, when the hero of my tale was passing by, and, down the vale now silent, hushed I ween as if a storm had never been, proceeding with a mind at ease, while the old familiar of the seas, intent to use his utmost haste, gained ground upon the waggon fast, and gives another lusty cheer. For spite of rumbling of the wheels, a welcome greeting he can hear. It is a fiddle in its glee dinning from the cherry tree. Thence the sound the light is there as Benjamin is now aware, who, to his inward thoughts confined, had almost reached the festive door, when, startled by the sailor's roar, he hears a sound and sees a light, and in a moment calls to mind that 'tis the village merry night. Although before in no dejection, at this insidious recollection his heart with sudden joy is filled. His ears are by the music thrilled. His eyes take pleasure in the road glittering before him bright and broad. And Benjamin is wet and cold, and there are reasons manifold that make the good, towards which he's yearning, look fairly like a lawful earning. Nor has thought time to come and go, to vibrate between yes and no. For, cries the sailor, glorious chance that blew us hither. Let him dance, who can or will, my honest soul, our treat shall be a friendly bowl. He draws him to the door, come in, come, cries he to Benjamin. And Benjamin, woe is me, gave the word the horses heard and halted, though reluctantly. Blithe souls and lightsome hearts have we, feasting at the cherry tree. This was the outside proclamation, this was the inside salutation. What bustling jostling high and low! A universal overflow. What tankards foaming from the tap! What store of cakes in every lap! What thumping stumping overhead! The thunder had not been more busy. With such a stir you would have said, this little place may well be dizzy. 'Tis who can dance with greatest vigor, 'tis what can be most prompt and eager. As if it heard the fiddle's call, the pewter clatters on the wall. The very bacon shows its feeling, swinging from the smoky ceiling. A steaming bowl, a blazing fire, what greater good can heart desire? 'Twere worth a wise man's while to try the utmost anger of the sky, to seek for thoughts of a gloomy cast, if such the bright amends at last. Now should you say I judge amiss, the cherry tree shows proof of this. For soon of all the happy there, our travellers are the happiest pair. All care with Benjamin is gone, a Caesar past the Rubicon. He thinks not of his long strife. The sailor, man by nature gay, hath no resolves to throw away, and he hath now forgot his wife, hath quite forgotten her, or maybe thinks her the luckiest soul on earth, within that warm and peaceful berth, under cover, terror over, sleeping by her sleeping baby, with bowl that sped from hand to hand, the gladdest of the gladsome band, amid their own delight and fun, they hear when every dance is done, when every whirling bout is o'er. The fiddles squeak, that call to bliss, ever followed by a kiss. They envy not the happy lot, but enjoy their own the more. While thus our jocund travellers fare, up springs the sailor from his chair limps, for I might have told before that he was lame. Across the floor is gone, returns in with a prize. With what? A ship of lusty size, a gallant stately man of war, fixed on a smoothly sliding car. Surprise to all, but most surprise to Benjamin, who rubs his eyes, not knowing that he had befriended a man so gloriously attended. This, cries the sailor, a third rate is, stand back, and you shall see her gratis. This was the flagship at the Nile, the vanguard. You may smirk and smile, but, pretty maid, if you look near, you'll find you've much in little here. A nobler ship did never swim, and you shall see her in full trim. I'll set, my friends, to do you honor, set every inch of sail upon her. So said, so done, and masts, sails, yards, he names them all, and interludes his speech with uncouth terms of art, accomplished in the showman's part. and then, as from a sudden check, cries out, "'Tis there, the quarterdeck on which brave Admiral Nelson stood, a sight that would have roused your blood. One eye he had, which, bright as 10, burned like a fire among his men. Let this be land, and that be sea, here lay the French, and thus came we." Hushed was by this the fiddle's sound. The dancers all were gathered round, and, such the stillness of the house, you might have heard a nibbling mouse. While, borrowing helps where'er he may, the sailor through the story runs of ships to ships and guns to guns, and does his utmost to display the dismal conflict, and the might and terror of that marvelous night. A bowl of double measure, cries Benjamin, a draught of length, to Nelson, England's pride and treasure, her bulwark and her tower of strength. When Benjamin had seized the bowl, the mastiff, from beneath the waggon, where he lay, watchful as a dragon, rattled his chain. 'Twas all in vain, for Benjamin, triumphant soul. He heard the monitor a growl, heard and in opposition quaffed a deep, determined, desperate draught. Nor did the battered tar forget, or flinch from what he deemed his debt. Then, like a hero crowned with laurel, back to her place the ship he led, wheeled her back in full apparel, and so, flag flying at mast-head, re-yoked her to the ass. "Anon," cries Benjamin, "we must be gone." Thus, after 2 hours' hearty stay, again behold them on their way.